Today, let's take a look at iQOO's other flagship, the one that is confirmed as launching in more markets, including India. This is the vanilla iQOO 12. Now in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through the unboxing experience first and then show what iQOO's actually done different here. Of course, I'll also be giving you my opinions on what I feel about these changes. Are they deal breakers? Are they little luxury stuff cut to hit a more aggressive price point? Hey guys, my name's Ash, welcome to C4E Tech, and let's get started. The unboxing experience here is very similar to what we got with the iQOO 12 Pro. In fact, the box is pretty much identical except for the model name. This time I've gone for the base variant, which is 12256. Once you open up the box, the first thing you see is the phone itself. Once again, note that carbon fiber pattern on the tray the phone's on. Good attention to detail. Removing the plastic, the iQOO 12, it does feel quite different in hand compared to its more expensive stablemate. Now that is because iQOO has different designs for these phones. Unlike the Pro, the display here, it's flat. The back, it doesn't curve quite as much either. The placements do remain largely unchanged, but the lack of curves means despite being the slimmer of the two phones, the iQOO 12 actually feels thicker when you hold it in hand. Now what you're seeing me use is the white variant, the Legend Edition. This phone is also available in black as well as red. And again, the red comes with a faux leather back, while the black and white SKUs, they use glass. With this white, we get the same enamel coating we saw on the Pro with the exact same unique reflective pattern and ceramic-esque feel to the touch. Now we do get an IP rating here, but it's IP64 instead of IP68. So with the build and design, there are some changes, maybe even compromises, but nothing that really feels like a deal breaker here. Now on that note, let's return back to the box contents. Next we have a card here. This is to indicate the iQOO and BMW collaboration. It also has the SIM ejector pin, the case. This is probably the one big difference with the unboxing. Now technically this is lower quality, right, when you look at these two, but honestly I prefer it, because it at least gets the job done. It adds to the grip, whereas the Pro's case looks better, sure, but it's so slippery. It just has no grip whatsoever. Next, we have the quick start guide, followed by a USB Type-C to Type-C cable with white accents. And finally, the charger. This is another 120 watt Vivo flash charger. So regardless of if you're comparing this phone to the iQOO 11 or the iQOO 12 Pro, there is no downgrade here. Now using this charger, iQOO claims you can get the 5000 mAh battery on the inside from 0 to 100 in 28 minutes. So a 100 mAh difference in battery capacity and no major difference in charge times. Nice. That said, wireless and reverse wireless charging still remain Pro-only features. What is not Pro-only is the chip on the inside. The iQOO 12 also happens to be powered by the newest flagship Qualcomm chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Once again, it's paired with up to 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and up to a terabyte of fast UFS 4.0 storage. So the difference here is that the 16 gigs of RAM, that's standard on the Pro, whereas the vanilla base gets 12 gigs of RAM. Now talking about differences, weirdly the stability scores, they did vary a little bit. The regular iQOO 12 managed to retain 5% more performance than the Pro after 20 minutes of being continuously pushed. Barring that, it's all the same, with the iQOO 12 having the same Q1 chip we saw on the Pro to be able to get super resolution and low latency frame insertion in order to run games smoother at higher resolutions without the GPU having to do all the work. Now the games I tried, they all ran quite well. I mean, it is the 8 Gen 3, so it's not surprising that they did. The phone did not get any warmer than the Pro, so pretty decent. With respect to the display, iQOO's gone about things a little differently than other brands. Here's where you usually see smaller panels than the Pro, but the vanilla iQOO 12 has the same sized panel as the iQOO 12 Pro, 6.78 inches, and it's not just the size, it's got more in common with the Pro. For example, the HDR brightness peak is 3000 nits here too. This also happens to be a 144Hz panel with LTPO support. So is it the same panel? No. So what is the difference? What has iQOO actually cut down here? For starters, the resolution on this one is 1.5K and the actual HBM brightness for outdoor use, it's slightly lower. To be precise, the Pro's panel is from Samsung, it's a Samsung E7, whereas this is from a Chinese manufacturer, the Visionox VM7. And of course, the Pro panel curves, well, this one is flat. Which, if you think about it, isn't even a negative, because a lot of people actually prefer flat panels. What about you? What do you prefer, flat or curved? Leave a comment. Now, it's not just that. I mean, just look at this. You see the bezels look slimmer on the regular variant, right? They don't just look slimmer, they are slimmer. Anyways, here with the display, I once again feel it's more of premium features being cut off to hit a more competitive price rather than the experience being voluntarily made worse. Now, talking about experiences, the iQOO 12 also happens to run on Origin OS 4 built atop Android 14, and it felt very quick and responsive. Whether it was opening up apps or jumping back and forth between them, playing games, it was all consistently a snappy experience. It is worth noting that the fingerprint scanner here, the one beneath the display, it's optical and not ultrasonic, but it's still quite fast and accurate, so once again, not a deal breaker. Now, when it comes to cameras, we get the exact same Xiaomi logo camera setup to the back here. It's the same 3 sensors, and as you can see, the iQOO 12's performance, it's identical to what we saw on the iQOO 12 Pro. So I'm going to save us both some time and quickly cut to my iQOO 12 Pro video. Now, there are 3 processing choices iQOO provides when you want to shoot: vivid, textured, or natural. I ended up going with vivid for all my shots you're going to be seeing. The primary, it's an OmniVision OV58 sensor. In a way, it's a predecessor to the Light Fusion 900 we saw on the Xiaomi 14 series, and it fares reasonably well. There's good detail, the dynamic range is above average, and the colors seem on point. Sadly, both the telephoto and the primary sensors, they have a tendency to get fogged up. This was me shooting outdoors at -2 or 3 degrees. Now, given I've lived in warmer places all my life, is this par for the course when shooting at sub-0 degree temperatures? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Sadly, this fogging stuff, it's worse on the iQOO 12. As you can see, the primary and telephoto, once again, they fogged up real quick, and it looks worse on the regular 12 than the 12 Pro. Now, to be fair, it was snowing, it was pretty cold outdoors, I was shooting in sub-0 temperatures. Anyways, with that said, let me continue with the camera part. Under low light, the iQOO 12 Pro goes for a brighter than your regular night kind of look. Here, these side-by-sides with the iPhone 15 Pro Max should give you an idea of what I'm talking about. It even slightly warms up the scene. That said, it was pretty surprising to see the iQOO 12 Pro hold its own against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Of course, it was taking a little longer to shoot. The results, I still feel they were pretty impressive. The secondary, the ultra-wide, it's another 50 megapixel sensor, the Samsung JN1 this time. We've seen the sensor in action on many phones, and it's usually a solid performer and continues to be one even here. That said, the colors aren't very accurately matched to the primary. The third sensor is a 64 megapixel OmniVision OV64B that's paired with a f2.57 telephoto lens that allows for 3x optical zoom. Now, the marketing is that it can do up to 100x hybrid, but at that point we are looking at an oil painting. But till 10x, honestly, the results are quite usable. It even allows for 5x super macro, which was fun to shoot. With video, you can shoot it up to 8K 30, but there's no solid stabilization here. I wasn't a fan of the footage quality either. 4K 60 is just fine, maybe a little lacking on detail, but it's pretty stable, quite usable. With selfies, we have a 16 megapixel shooter that does a fair job, but for video, it's capped to 1080-30, which I feel is atrocious. Now, before we jump into pricing, let me show you guys the speakers. As you saw earlier, we do get stereo speakers here as well, and they sound just as good. Here, have a listen. And finally, let's talk price. The iQOO 12 starts at 3999 RMB, which is 200 yuan higher than what the iQOO 11 launched at. That said, it feels like whatever iQOO's cut here, they've all been luxury features. IP68 being cut for IP64, ultrasonic scanner being cut for an optical scanner, there's no curved 2K panel, wireless charging being omitted. I mean, of these features, they are nice to have, they're not must-haves, they aren't deal breakers. So I feel iQOO's cut just the right corners here, and the resulting vanilla iQOO 12, it feels like a solid flagship in its own right. And I think this is gonna be a phone to watch when it releases globally next month. What do you think about the iQOO 12? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, bye bye.